Okay, welcome back for video 3. I'm going to attempt to do more difficult puzzles this time. I did 2 videos where I did under 500 difficulty and under 1000 difficulty. So if you're a beginner, I recommend checking out those puzzles first. I'm going to do them in blocks of 200 difficulty points now because yeah, I consider under 1000 to be beginner level, but even some of those beginner puzzles would be overwhelming to the new beginner. So I did under 500, I did under 1000. Now I'm gonna slow down the difficulty. I'm gonna do it in 200, 200 point chunks. So this video will be between 1000 and 1200 difficulty. So we go to puzzles, learning. So 1 to 500, and I have already done the under 1 to 1000. So now let's do 1000 to 1200. So every new video, I will increase it by 200 points, the difficulty. Okay, let's see where we go from there. Alrighty. If you've watched my other 2 videos, you'll see the difference in difficulty as I increase the rating range. I'm including all puzzles though, and then I'm explaining each puzzle. Okay. Alright, let's get started. Okay. This is a back rank checkmate. I can sacrifice the queen for the rook. After he takes, the rook can come up checkmate. So, okay. It's over 1000, but I consider that almost as easy as like an 800 puzzle. Once you get to a certain skill level, it's hard to distinguish differences in beginners. But chess is very complex. So, alright. This bishop only has, if I move this rook over here, I'm adding an attacker to this bishop, and I can win the bishop the next move. And if the bishop moves out of the way, then I'll win the rook instead. So, and it moved out of the way, so I will win a rook instead. Check, check. I want a rook, but probably should have let me win the bishop instead. Either way, I win a piece. It doesn't jump out at me immediately. I always check forcing moves first. Check. I look for checks. I look for captures. Even if the capture is a sacrifice, I analyze it. Like I'm analyzing this capture and I'm analyzing this capture. Also, and also potential checks. I can't, but the bishop here is stopping me from checking the king. If I take this piece, he has to take back. Then my queen can move up, check, which is a fork, attacking the king and the rook. So then in the end, I win the bishop because I'm getting my rook back. All right. Dang. So how can black save this game? Because white is dominating. I can take this pawn, but silly me. Oh, black has checkmate in 1, which was easily preventable. White could have done something and get out of this checkmate, but instead, the computer always makes a bad move, and then you have to figure out why it's a bad move. It's just checkmate in 1. Okay, this pawn is pinned. If this rook takes this knight, once he recaptures, I get to win this rook that's undefended. So the knight's pinned. Boom. Okay, black to move. Okay, I can take this pawn check. And if the king moves down, I can move the rook here, check, forking the king and the rook. It's a sacrifice of the rook, but it's to get the rook off of this A file so that I can get my queen. But if I do that and he moves up instead, I can still do the same thing. We take. King should not move down. And if he does move down the puzzle, I don't like that because he's not doing the best move. Here, if he moves up instead. Oh, okay, I saved the game either way. Okay. So if I go here and he moves down, I have the tactic that I explained. Move rook here, he has to take, and then I get a queen and I'm going to win the game. So he doesn't do that, he moves up instead, and I'll just infinitely check him. I'll check him again, and he moves down. Then I check him again, and he moves. I just infinitely check him. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I just infinitely check him back and forth. He will not move up to the top because then if he moves up to the top, then I can move the rook up. I can move the rook up with check, followed by me getting the queen. It's defended by the rook. So he's stuck. The king is stuck in between the second and the third rank. And if he continues to get closer to me, check, closer to me, check, closer to me. Ah. Okay. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't allow the king to get super close. Or if he picks up that pawn, it's game over. White's going to win with all these pawns. And so, if he moves up, I move all the way over here. And the rook now can't take it because then I can give check. And when the king moves out of the way, I pick off the rook. So, a little complex. Yeah, that's why we're doing the 1000 to 1200 difficulty. They're a little more complex. Okay. Take the knight. He takes back. I would. Oh, no, wait. Because then I would love to take check. Yeah. Love to take check, forking the king and the bishop. So then he blocks with the bishop. But I can't take the bishop immediately because then he will win my queen. So I trade the queens off first, check, and then I can pick off the bishop. Let's do that one more time. I take, he takes back. I take, check. I take, he takes back. I take, check. Forking the king and the bishop. He has to get out of check. If he doesn't want to lose his queen, he needs to block with the bishop. Before I can win this free bishop, I have to trade the queens off with check. And then I can win the bishop. Woo! Complex. Boom. Oh, he took my queen. Okay, I didn't consider that. But the first move was still the right move because it didn't give me an X. It didn't give me a red X. Okay. It's still the right first move. I lost one. Okay. Well, so, okay. Once this knight moves out of the way, I have check. If I take this pawn, I'm going to re-get my queen back. And then if he wants to take that bishop, I'll take that bishop. Yeah, I take the queen. I still got it right, but I didn't consider all options. So that was a little lucky on my part. And you don't want to gamble in chess. You want to know for sure before executing. So I was a little lucky there. In this case, I didn't win any material. Or maybe I did. Did I win a piece? Because if he decides to take me, then I'll take him. And if he wants to take a pawn, I'll take a pawn. So either way, we both escape with our pieces. Either with both these captured or they escape. Let's do this in the beginning. I win a knight, but I lose a queen. I take a pawn, and I get the queen back. Okay, so in the end, I won the knight. I did win a piece. Because if you count, he has he has a bishop and a knight. Yeah, he loses the knight in the end. Take the knight. It looks bad at first, but I'm gonna get its check. So I get the queen back, and like I said, if he wants to take, I'll take, which is equal. So in the end, I won a knight and a pawn. I think that was here. So yeah. Okay, that was just a suicide move. This is checkmate. Okay, this check forks the king and the bishop, and also defends my bishop afterwards. So if the knight decides to take, I can take back. Check. And he didn't. Well, yeah. He blocked. Yeah, that's the end of the puzzle. And if he wants to take, I can take back. It was a fork. I won the bishop. Ah. It's always a bad move. This bishop can go here, and then the queen is pinned to the king. I move here, the queen cannot move out of the way because it would be check. And if he takes the bishop, I take the queen, and then it's my king, and then I win the game. Yeah, king and queen versus the king. There was a pin involved, so this is just mate in one. He didn't do anything to stop it. Checkmate in one. What was his move? He took the knight and didn't. He just ignored. Nothing he could have done about it, really. Well, he could have blocked. He could have blocked with the pawn. Yeah, he could have stopped the mate. So checkmate in one. I think this is a queen trap. If I move rook up here. Yep. If I move rook up here, the queen has no escape. If I move that, because the rook there will control these three. This rook controls all of these. It's hard to checkmate in chess because that's the ultimate objective of the game, but it's even harder to quote unquote checkmate a queen or trap the queen because the queen's way powerful, but she can be trapped if she's in enemy territory and doesn't have a lot of escape squares. Queens can get trapped, and then this queen protects these, and the queen can't go here either because of my pawn. Yeah, the queen is trapped. So she takes, and I win a queen for a rook. Okay. Okay, wants me to free up some storage space. Sorry, I'm filming, but I need to delete some videos. Crap. I just realized as I'm recording that videos. It's all video. Videos take up a lot. All right. I'm gonna just go ahead and delete all videos. Minecraft from. Sorry. I'm just gonna delete them all right now. What's this, the one I'm recording right now? I need to be more prepared when I do these videos, but oh well. I'm not professional. Okay. I should free up some stuff, maybe? I think, if I did that right. Still says I have a line. Maybe deleting only sends it to the trash can. I'm not a computer. Oh well. I'll figure it out. Okay, in this video, I should probably start over. In fact, you know what? I don't know. Okay, in this case, I would like to take this free knight, but then he takes my free bishop. So I can take the bishop first with check, and then win the knight. Exchange the piece off, and then win the knight. I'll go ahead and stop this video at 30 minutes. This is checkmate in 1. If I move the bishop here, this is the first time I've seen this one. Okay, this is called the quiet move. I'm threatening. Moving here threatens checkmate. It's not check though. It's more forcing when you have check. In this case, I'm threatening checkmate with the queen, but none of the pieces can come to the defense. The queen can come here to try and stop it, but then I'll just eat the queen. Yeah. The only way the mate can be stopped is to lose the queen. And then I mean, it's inevitable. So I call those are called quiet moves. All right, back rank checkmate. This is called an X-ray. If I take rook, rook just takes back. But if queen takes rook, it's called an X-ray attack because I'm technically going to take that rook once it takes. Queen takes rook. Rook has to come back to stop the checkmate. Rook takes, and then the queen's going to block somehow. I take the queen for checkmate. Okay, queen up is checkmate. Suicide because the queen was defending that square before it moved. Okay, knight here check. No matter which square the king moves to. Rook here's checkmate. Alright, this is another queen trap. Look at the white queen. Very limited where you can go. Bishop here traps the queen. Well, not initially. The queen only has one safe square, which is here, and that's where I can move bishop here. Yeah. No, because then it can escape here. Bishop here. Queen here. Oh, yeah, bishop can come here, and it's trapped. No, that's the same thing I said. It can escape here. And then I push pawn up, and then it's trapped. Looks a little convoluted, or complex, so bishop here. The queen has only one safe square. And then this bishop goes here, attacking it again, and then the queen has only one safe square. And then this pawn moves up, and the queen is trapped. Yep. Oh, okay. He chose to take here instead, which doesn't matter because I can win the queen for a bishop. That's better for him to do. If he moves here, well, either way he can take the bishop, but I'm winning a bishop for a queen. Alright, this is a simple case of 3 versus 2. 3 versus 2 means this has to do with zigzags again in endgames. Gotta make sure I do this right. If I move here, though, he can capture me en passant, and then my king is outside the square of the pawn. Here, pawn captures en passant, and then the square of the pawn, I'm outside the square of the pawn. My king is outside. Okay, I can't get. And if I push this pawn up, then that's bad too, because now he has 2 pawns paralyzing 3 of my pawns. So, and my king cannot go around here. My king can't go here or here. This is all blocked off. So the only way I can make progress is for my king to go around. My king needs to go around so I can pick off these pawns. So how do I do that? So moving these 2 pawns is not good. I move king here. Yep. And if he wants to push pawn down, I move closer. And then, yeah. If I move here, this is a bad move for him. Even though it paralyzes the pawns, I'm going to move here, and then his king cannot defend this pawn from falling, which allows me to have a pass pawn for a future queen. So that's the first move. He needs to defend. And I can't get any closer. I can't get closer here. Here. He goes here. That's where I push the pawn. And then his king is forced to move. And if he moves here, I get closer to the pawn, and then his pawn's going to drop. So if I go here instead, he should go here. Then I get closer, and then he defends. Okay? It's all about, sometimes you have to waste a move in the endgame. You go to the same square in 2 moves, even though you could have done it in 1 move. Because king opposition is very important. So, we'll start over. If I go here, this loses for black, because then I will go here, and this pawn drops. So I go here, and if he defends it, then I have this move that blocks the pawns, and now the king is forced to move because he has no pawn moves. He can move here, then I get closer, then he can defend the pawn again, but then I move up, and now his king has to move again, and then I will eat the queen, eat the pawn. So here, 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 and then this is where this is what the move order is so important. Okay, I go here, here. So in this case, my king's here and his king's here now, defending the pawn. At this point, I can move. Yeah, I can move up, and then he's gonna have to lose his pawn. Yeah. So yeah, whether he pushes the pawn or goes to defend the pawn, either way, I'm gonna win this pawn. The pawn drops. In the end, it looks simple, but it was pretty complicated. If you have to think it through. It looks simple, like oh, boom, 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 but you have to consider everything. So, okay, we're almost at 30 minutes. So, I've noticed that this queen is defending the checkmate. I have a battery here. This is my checkmate square. Okay, but the queen is the queen is defending at the moment. The queen's also defending this rook and this bishop. This queen has too many jobs. So if I take this rook, if he takes with queen, it's a blunder because I have checkmate. But he doesn't have to take with the queen. He can take with a rook instead. And then no big deal. He's threatening my queen, and I don't have checkmate because the queen's defending. But if I take bishop, queen cannot take again because I have checkmate. So he takes my queen. I take his queen. I'm threatening to win this rook right now, and I'm threatening to win this rook. So I got my queen back. I won a bishop, and I'm threatening 2 rooks. So he can kill my rook, and then I kill his rook, and in the end, I won a bishop. So, boom, he took my queen, I take his queen. He took my rook, I took his rook. In the end, I won a bishop. Complex. Okay, I'm at 28 minutes, so this might be the last puzzle. Plus, I didn't have a lot of space on my hard drive. Oh. Queen down here, check. You can move here, or you can move here. If he moves here, then if he moves, yeah. Check. If he was here, then I give check and I win the bishop. So he goes here instead. Aha. And then I give another check. Okay. It's all about weaseling your queen with checks. Queen comes here, check. He moves up. Then I move here, check. Again, preparing myself to infiltrate this square. So check, king up, check again. Actually, I'm not 100% certain. I think this is the right move, though. Yeah, check. He moved there when he shouldn't have. I got lucky that he didn't do the harder variation That's why these puzzles are between 1,000 and 1,200. I have just realized that the reason why the opponent doesn't make the best move sometimes is because these are not advanced puzzles. So the same puzzle could repeat at a harder difficulty, and then black defends better. Check. I don't trade the queens. I just take the free bishop. All right. Well, that was interesting. 22 puzzles.